What is going on, YouTube? You know, today I was going to do a video and show you guys some of the mail that it came in, but you know, probably not. I mean, a bunch of the mail, and hold on, there. Actually, I got a lot more. I've got a ton of cards I haven't shown, but watching Mike's videos really opened up a big question. See, I've collected a lot of raw cards. I got a lot of autograph cards in person, some through the mail, but got a lot of cards that I do want to get graded. And the way the whole situation is now, something we as a community should be discussing. See, Mike brought up a very good point. A lot of people in the comments didn't agree. Some people were very snarky and all of that. And I know Mike. I've talked to him several times. We talk on the phone every now and then. And I think Mike came across a little bit wrong. So let me try to explain this. See, I've got some cards right here. That's Ortiz relic. Got a laundry tag right there. Got, what's this? PSA graded card. This is a GMA card. SGC. Another SGC. So I have plenty of graded cards in my collection. I only have one Beckett. But to me, instead of the way people came at him in the comments, of course, me, I don't really care what people comment on my videos. It is what it is. But that's me. That's the type of person I am. Anyway, I collected a lot of raw cards. And I've probably got a stack of 75, close to 100 that I want to send in. My question is, who do I send them to? Do I support the evil empire of collectors? Or do I not? Do I go somewhere else? You see, a lot of people don't like PSA. And some people don't like SGC. And that's fine. I'm just throwing out the questions to you. Because ultimately, it's your collection and it's your decision. But for me, I've got a stack of cards sitting over there. I've got JSA certed stuff. I've got PSA certed autograph stuff. So where do I go? I'm not the biggest fanboy of PSA. I'm really not. Although I do have quite a bit of PSA cards in my collection. I am a bigger fan of SGC. I think most cards, with the exception of like the 71 tops, look great at an SGC holder. However, what are my options? Well, as of right now, I can send them to PSA. I can send a couple cards at a time, wait 3 to 6 months, probably 4 months on average, get my cards back. I don't like waiting that long to get my cards back. And, everyone's saying PSA is very inconsistent. Their grading standards have changed. I can recall telling people way back in around 2020, PSA was using AI, especially for centering, front and back. Just kind of blew over everybody. No, they aren't. No, they aren't. That was what I heard. No, they aren't. They aren't. Nothing's changed. Yeah, it did. Welcome to the new generation. Welcome to more technology. And so I'm tossed up with the PSA. And then I'm kind of supporting the evil empire. But I like SGC, so should I send my cards to SGC? I like the look. And I like the fact that they're only going to have my cards 2-3 weeks at the most, and then I'll get them back. But collectors and PSA, since they bought SGC, well, they're steadily gutting the company out. So is SGC's value going to hold up over time like it has? That's the big question we as collectors need to ask ourselves. And someone would say, well, send them to Tag. Tag is great. I do have a card graded by Tag. Tag is very consistent. It's a beautiful holder. Tag doesn't grade vintage. They're out. Well, and if you look at gem rate, and I can't remember who just did a video on this, but let's break this down. If I go through gem rate and look at what's really been going on, PSA graded 500,000 sports cards last month. SGC graded 200,000 sports cards last month. I believe Beckett graded 20,000. I'm not a fan of Beckett slabs. I just don't like the look of the card in the baggie inside the holder. I think the holder's a little too thick. I like the subgrades, but the slab itself I'm just not a fan of, and the look of the card. So they're out. And well, you could say, well, you can go to CGC. They're the new kids on the block. Yeah. Check gem rate. They only graded 2,000 sports cards. Yeah. 2,000. Compared to SGC's 200 and PSA's 500,000. They only graded 2,000. So there's only one option. Like it or not, you're going to go to the evil empire. And I'm sorry, but that's just the way it is. And I won't sit here and tell you to blame collectors. Collectors and PSA were brilliant with what they did. Remember, the first PSA card was trimmed. Everybody knows it's trimmed. The Gretzky Honus Wagner. People don't care. They still pay millions of dollars for that card. The Marshall Fogel PSA 10, 52 tops mantle. A known trimmers came out and said, I know that card's trimmed because I doctored it. Nobody cares. See, I think a lot of people came down on Mike because of the way he collects and the way he likes to collect. He likes PSA. He's a PSA fanboy, self-admitted. And regardless, that's who he's going to choose. And I know some people are going to say, well, Snoop, I know PSA is inconsistent. The grading is tougher. And all of this is going on. And I will say I agree with you. And a few of my friends have said, I'm not submitting any more cards to PSA. Very commendable. You're voting with your dollars. But I'm going to buy cards already slabbed by PSA. Okay? So you're not submitting, but you're buying from dealers that do submit. And do you think they're going to stop submitting? Ask yourself that. I mean, I'm just the messenger. Don't kill the messenger for the message. You see, PSA has created a beautiful monopoly in this hobby. And I won't particularly say PSA. I'm going to say collectors did when they bought PSA. And they bought their biggest competitor, SGC. When they got SGC, everything has changed now. Combined, SGC and PSA did 700,000 cards last month. Compared to Beckett and CGC combined for sports cards was 22,000 cards. You see where it goes. Our options are limited. And if you think it's bad now, it's just going to get worse. because there's still other grading companies out there. I mean, right here, where is it? Right here. Yeah, I just showed you one. This is a GMA slab. I bought the card, not the flip. They're still around. And could CGC come up and give the collectors group, give them a big rival push? Sure they could. CGC is owned by BlackRock. Check out how much money BlackRock has. But is BlackRock going to put the money up for CGC to hire the right people to do the marketing and advertising when they're already number one on the gaming side? CGC is number one on that side. PSA is number two. So is BlackRock, and let's face it, BlackRock is a corporation of very smart people on their board. They follow the old mantra from the mid-90s and early 90s from Master P. If it don't make dollars, it don't make sense. That's how BlackRock operates. So is BlackRock going to put enough money into CGC so that they can market themselves, they can hire the right people, they can expand, they can get the machines in that they need in order to grade vintage, because a few people aren't happy with PSA? Where's the return on their dollar? That's the way BlackRock's going to look at it. It's sort of the way PSA looks at it. Look at the perspective of PSA. Why do they need great customer service when you're still going to send them your cards? They don't. There's been countless stories about, fake cards getting slabbed and other things happening, fake autographs, all of this. Did it slow anybody up from submitting to them? And be honest with yourself. Nope. Their numbers actually went up. And the other thing is, you can't blame PSA too much. You have to blame us. The collectors, the hobbyists, the flippers, the retail side, the store owners who own the card shops, to the guys you see with the Pelican cases at the card shows. Those are the ones. Because we, as a collective hobby, gave them that much power. There were other alternatives. PSA was not the largest all the time. Beckett was the largest for a very long time. It was a Beckett slab or virtually nothing, unless it was vintage that was pre-war, and then you wanted to see an SGC slab. But as a hobby overall, collectively, we decided, no, we're going with these guys. And we have consistently submitted, and we gave them that much power. So if anybody thinks I'm wrong, please let me know in the comments. But I don't think I'm wrong. In the end, it's our hobby. Us on YouTube, we're a very, very, very small fraction of the hobby overall. And ultimately, as collectors, we make the choice collectively. Do I think this video is going to stop anybody from sending the PSA? No. Because I probably have 20 cards right there I'm thinking about sending to Garrett so that they can get slabbed because of autographs. Then again, I could go the JSA route. But I don't know. I don't know how well that's going to hold up. There was a time, a lot of people don't know it. A lot of newer people don't know it. I'll rephrase what I said. But JSA used to be with SGC. And if you had a TTM or in-person autograph, you could submit it. JSA would cert it. SGC would slab it. Those are some old slabs. Now, currently, Is PSA grading differently? Yes. Have their standards changed? Probably not. See, the key is in the wording of what's going on. Their standards hasn't changed. The way they are grading has changed. So in the interview that was done with the CEO, he said their standards hasn't changed, and they probably haven't. But he never said the way they grade it hasn't changed. See, that's what's changed. Also, a lot of people are submitting cards, and I will say, I'm not the greatest at looking at a card and determining the grade. I'm very good at it, but I'm not the best at it. I'm not a grader. And nor do I want to be a grader. I'm not taking that big a pay cut. But when most people look at a card, this is a card I haven't even shown. This Giancarlo Stanton Panini Immaculate laundry tag. And most people look at a card and they think, why is my card a 10? And you start pointing out the reasons why this card should be a 10. I look at it differently, and asking you guys that do submit regularly to look at it differently. I know Nolan said it's like throwing the dice, it's gambling. Yeah, it is. But instead of saying, why is this card a 10? Why not look at the card from the opposite way of thinking and go, why is this card not a 10? Start looking for why it's not a 10. Assume, it starts out as a 10, but this little corner right here, that takes it to a 9. Oh, and it's got a little spot right there. That takes it to an 8. And maybe on the back, there's a little print line. That takes it to a 7. And you know what? Maybe there's a little something right here along the edge. That takes it to a 6. Maybe we should start thinking a little bit differently. Then again, maybe I'm wrong. But that's just the way I think about it. So in the end, I still have to choose someone. See, the way I started collecting, some of you guys may remember, some of you guys may not remember. There was a YouTuber named Joey Brings It. And Joey and I were friends. We've talked quite a bit. He's still going through some health issues. But Joey collected raw, ungraded cards. And his theory was, when the time comes to where I'm not happy with anything that's out there, I will start submitting. And you should check out Joey Brings It channel. Joey was really good on his videos. And so I collected a lot the way Joey did. I bought a lot of cards raw in very, very good condition. And now, aside from relics and and autograph cards, I really don't have a lot of interest in a lot of the newer stuff. So I want to submit them, get them slabbed. And it's not because I necessarily want everything slabbed. It's just the assurance that if something happens to me, my wife knows what the value is. She can easily look up, for example, because this one is sitting here, she can easily look up what this is in an SGC4 and see what it sells for. Simple. If this card is raw, well, it's almost whatever someone will give her. But that gives her a little ground to stand on. And that's the biggest reason why I want some of my cards graded. Hey, we're all collectors. We're all human. Most of us say, we don't care about what the grade is. And a lot of us don't. I don't. Certain cards, I will say I'm not buying below a certain grade, because at a certain number, wrinkles are allowed, surface wrinkles are allowed, and I don't want a card with a surface wrinkle. So I will say, if I'm looking for a graded one, I only want this number or above. The 71 Topps Black Beauties, unless I check it over really, really well, no, I'm not buying one that's not graded. Too big a risk someone took a Sharpie and dotted on it just to fill in that color a little bit. Or got a really good ink pen, just touched it up. I just don't want to take the chance. But that's me. That's the way I collect. So, in the end, I still have to choose someone to send a few cards to. Do I support the Empire? Do I hold out? What do I do? I'm not in it as deep as other people are, where I have thousands of cards that are graded by a particular company. I've got SGC and I've got PSA and I've got a tag. I got a GMA, whatever that is. And I'm still open to CGC. Time will tell what's going to happen to them, whether they're going to try to make that move or not. HGA for me is completely out there. They're a fad. I mean, back in 2019, when I talked about them when they first came around, I said back then, that whole labeling thing, it was just going to be here today, gone tomorrow. That's what happened. So guys, I did end up showing a few cards today. Cards I wasn't even expecting to be showing. Just something for you guys to think about. We collective, as a group, we're the ones that gave them that much power. I was watching a video the other day. Why don't younger kids build sets? It's a topic for another video. But why do they need to build a set when they can wait till November, September, buy the set already done? Let's think about it. Hey, next video, maybe I'll discuss my views on Fanatics and Topps having all the licensing. I don't think that's going to be good at all for the hobby, or at least for newer collectors. Anyway, you guys stay cool, stay blessed. I'll see you on the next video. Peace.